Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The bedroom tax is an indictment of the government's lack of compassion for people. In the last 3 years, we have allowed 552 affordable units to be built. Half of these are flats. If you take away from this figure the shared ownership units, you're left with 380 properties for rent. A much higher percentage of these are flats. What I'm saying is that the overwhelming majority of the small units we have built are for affordable rent are flats. There are 5,946 households on our register waiting for a 1 and 2 bedroom unit. Just think how many flats that will mean. That is 86% of our register, and this is before the bedroom tax kicks in. This was in February. The evidence is clear. We do not have a supply of smaller units. The allocations policy talks about suitability. When we assess housing need, we identify that person's need will be met by housing them in a 1-bedroom unit. They may have lived in a house for 25 years, and they are being uprooted and moved into a flat because that's all that is available, and because our allocations policy identifies that this flat satisfies their housing need. People who have lived in a house for 25 years are now expected to downsize into a flat. No wonder people are wanting to stay where they are at all costs. The developers and officers are saying to us, what's wrong with flats? Would you agree to move to a house that you love? Would you agree to move from a house that you love and you may have lived in for decades into a flat on the other side of town, away from the place that you called home for so long? Our choice-based letting scheme last year saw a third less properties advertised on it. We are told that by officers last month that relets are going to be reduced even further in the next year. There is less choice available in our stock, and the private sector won't take people on benefit because of all the changes. But in 2 weeks' time, hundreds of households will see their income cut. This council and many of our partners are not prepared for the absolute crisis our housing is going to face. Only today we were sent a flyer from Housing advertising an event for residents on the 16th of April, over 2 weeks after the bedroom tax begins. It is an impossible task that we are asking our officers in housing. There simply isn't enough housing for people to move into if they wish to. Most don't want to move anyway, and they are angry and frightened, and the money that has been given to this council from government to meet the shortfall isn't enough. This is a recipe for disaster. All these people we are talking about are people, and each number has a face, a story. People who have decorated their homes, saved hard for the wallpaper to wallpaper their lounge, or carpet their bedrooms, planted their gardens and loved their space that they live in, developed relationships with their neighbours, people who have invested in their homes. Please support this motion.
Thank you, Councillor James.